Good evening. Tonight we read in 1 Corinthians 8 and Proverbs 11. So you're in 1 Corinthians 8. I like the whole chapter because it's about like idols and false gods, and that's good because a lot of people. Well, it's easy for me to I guess get really hooked on certain things like my phone or like social media, and without me even knowing, I might even turn them to false god or might even turn to like small gods, in a way that they can take my time and just kind of control what I do. Like I wake up in the morning, find my phone. It's the first thing I do and stuff. And the first thing I should do is start my morning with thankfulness and gratitude. I've seen another day, but yeah. Personally, me, I will try to be better about that. I can't speak for anyone else, but I know that's what I'll try to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Timothy. And you're not the only one who struggles with that. A lot of adults, struggle with. It might not be the same apps that you are on, or the same activity, or maybe the same device, but we're all open and susceptible to what is around us, our environment, the culture. And you have the grown-up temptation, you have the adolescent, older adolescent, teenage children. Across the board, we all have our brand of things that can take us off course. Something that really spoke to me in this scripture, not only verse 1 where it says, now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge, right? We can obtain information, but knowledge puffeth. It can make us arrogant, but charity edifieth. And that goes to the saying, you hear a lot of teachers and a lot of students. Have you ever heard this? Students don't care what you know until they know that you care. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I like that.
Yeah, right? So you can be the sage on stage as a professor and spit out all this information, or be that adult and say, you need to do this, you need to do that, and give all this counsel. But if you're not willing to walk with them and being transparent with young people or the students, or show that you're vulnerable to mistakes, then they'll shut it down. They'll be like, she's untouchable, or he's untouchable, or they're perfect, or seemingly try to be perfect. But when you can bear yourself and just share your fallibility and how you have fallen before and how you have been able to overcome, and maybe you were addicted to this, and you were able to do this and have gained freedom and liberty. And another scripture, this is something that adults, we have to be careful about, as far as maybe new believers, or those who are new to the faith, or young believers, or weak people. It says in verse 9.
And not weak people.
Not weak people, well, maybe tendencies. They're not built up as far as their faith, right? Because I was reading earlier how the father came to Jesus. Well, he was brought to Jesus because his son would oftentimes have seizures and throw himself in a fire and water, and he would gnash his teeth, and he had a spirit. And the man was like, yeah, Jesus, I do believe, because Jesus was like, all things are possible. And the father was like, yeah, I do believe, but help my lack of faith, help my unbelief. Well, listen, when someone is weak in the faith, it is important for us who is buoyant and strong and have, a lot of endurance and trust in the Lord, to make sure that we're not doing anything that would trip them up. So that we have to, we're not paranoid and just like saying, looking behind our back all the time, but we have to walk circumspectly and carefully so that we don't become a stumbling block. It says, take heed lest by any means this liberty, this freedom that you have, that you're able to do stuff, become a stumbling block to them that are weak. So, like I said, weak in the faith. So we want to make sure that we are being transparent, we are being open, we're sharing our struggles and how the Lord has pulled us from the miry clay, and now we are walking in victory and being patient. Woo! I've had to learn that patience with young people and across the board. What do you think about that? Patience. Patience is what?
Very good. Wow.
Yeah, and also in Proverbs 11, just talking about counsel. And like I said, we're all inadvertently advising one another. And one scripture says, where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. So when you have some wise people who come and surround and try to build up each other's faith and edify each other, then the whole body, the whole group rejoiceth. Yep. And it says the city rejoiceth when all goeth well with the righteous. That's in verse 10. So let's look out for one another. Let's edify one another. And let's let others know that we care so we could bring them along. Have a good evening.